All right. So I wanted to do something. I guess it's kind of similar to the Jurassic Park video, but there's this channel called Extinct Zoo, which has basically it's a wide variety of stuff. And to be honest, I didn't want to do. There's a video I really want to do, but it's a longer video, and I know I'm gonna want to stop these videos and kind of talk and kind of react to some of this stuff. So that video I'm gonna save to record on a weekend. It might go up on a weekday, but I'm gonna record that on a weekend because it's like 23, 24 minutes long, just a video. So obviously I'm gonna intro it again. I'm probably gonna stop and talk about it. And then we'll have to close out the video and whatnot. So I have basically set this one up here where I am already. I guess I could have just started with myself on the screen, but point is I'm on the bottom corner. Hi. And so this one we're doing is called Megalosaurus, one of the largest middle Jurassic theropods. I don't know. I guess middle Jurassic is the middle of the Jurassic. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. This one's only 6 minutes, so I thought, I can just record this on a weekday, and we'll hopefully get about 10, 15 minutes in here. I won't try to pause the video too much, but I will link the video down in the description, so if you want to go watch it without my commentary and my reaction to it, I will. I'll just link the channel. I mean, I guess you can get to the channel through the link. You just got to scroll literally right under the video. I mean, you don't really even have to scroll technically. But I guess I could link the channel too in the description. Even though again you can just see, but whatever, we'll do it that way. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. I have heard of this dinosaur. I don't know really much about it. I am really out of the loop. I think I talked about it in my Jurassic Park video, but I am out of the loop when it comes to a lot of newer discoveries. Probably high school is when I kind of started getting on the loop because I just kind of lost time to kind of focus on, learning about this stuff and whatnot. And now that I'm an adult and I'm basically just only working 8 hours a day, and, it's just like that's the main thing rather than having to focus on homework afterwards or focus on cross country, which I ran as a sport or, whatever. I can get back into this, kind of learn about this again. If I want to do more YouTube, this is kind of perfect to do it. So with all that being said, I know it's a long intro. I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to hit play. Hopefully, I don't know how loud the video is going to be. So I'm going to kind of mess with the video here. We're going to start it and kind of see what this is. And yeah, let's get it.
166 million years ago, during the Middle Jurassic, a beast of a carnivore was experiencing its heyday. It was one of the largest theropods to live during the Middle Jurassic and was mighty enough to earn a name which meant great lizard. This was the Megalosaurus. And it truly was a great lizard.
Like images like this are really cool to me when you kind of like see like other stuff, and it's like, this one's obviously feeding, but a lot of like illustrations and whatnot that they do, and they have the background and they have like the dinosaurs and whatnot. Like I absolutely love that. That's just my favorite thing.
Not just because of its physical traits.
I have a couple frames in my room. I printed off a couple different pictures and whatnot. And I actually have him framed in my room around my room. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this stuff.
The Megalosaurus was actually the first genus of dinosaur to be validly named. This also means that this dinosaur has long been on paleontologists' radar. In fact, with the earliest fossil belonging to this genus being discovered all the way back in the 1600s. Being unearthed in the Tainton Limestone Formation, located in present-day UK. The first bone to be dug up was the lower part of its femur. And because scientists back then had no knowledge of dinosaurs, it was originally believed to belong to a Roman war elephant, and then was switched to having come from a biblical giant. This belief persisted for a considerable amount of time until the early 1800s, when new fossils were located. And
just real quick on that, I mean, it's crazy to think about, like even like from 1800s paleontology to now, but just I think like 1600s paleontology, when you didn't, like, not many people were digging up dinosaur bones, and at that time there was no mammoths or saber-toothed tigers or whatever, because this is only 400 years ago. Like, this isn't thousands of years ago where you have mammoths and giant sloths and short-faced bears and all these stuff. So like when you find like a big bone, you're like, okay, this something's not right here. We don't have any animals that can do that, so it's got to be like a human or a god or a giant or something. So like it's fascinating to like really see how people thought back then, and obviously what's changed. And obviously, again, a lot has changed in those 400 years for everything. But I love how people kind of just put in their time in the 1600s 2 and 2 together and go, okay, it has to be a giant. Because again, there's no animal that looks like that didn't again have a lot of records or know a lot about prehistory and whatever, because they didn't really start caring about that until probably the mid 1800s. I'm not gonna sit here and go, this is the exact time and date, but probably like mid 1800s was when we kind of started really caring about that. I know it was I think it was like later 1800s where they started like documenting like animal species and how close they were to extinction. I think it was like late 1800s. It was somewhere around there. But for most of human history, like we didn't really care. We're just like we're gonna conquer each other's lands and we're just gonna live our life. And then we started realizing, hey, there's more to this planet thing than we first realized. So it's just really fun to like learn and see how people used to think back then and whatnot for this. So sorry, I'm just getting on the tangent.
Delivered to paleontologist William Buckland, who with the help of fellow paleontologists deduced that it was really a massive lizard-like animal, which he estimated to have been about 40 feet or 12.2 meters in length, while standing 8 feet or 2.4 meters tall. And finally, in 1824, Buckland formally named and described the Megalosaurus. And even though his take on the Megalosaurus was more...
And this right here, this picture right here is how, they used to think dinosaurs used to look. And, they used to think, like, some of the famous... like I think it's stop motion. I don't remember if it's stop motion or not, but like you had a T-Rex with the tail on the ground, and you had one dinosaur. I think it was a Styracosaurus. It was what it is now, but big display on its head and whatnot with one big horn and whatnot. Like, and I forget what the green one used. I don't think the horn. I think the horn was supposed to be on the tail. I forget. I'll do a video on it, but like it's a crazy history of how like they used to picture these animals and whatnot.
More accurate than previous descriptions, he still got a lot wrong, which is reflected in his reconstructions and descriptions of the beast.
Again, 1800s.
Buckland believed the Megalosaurus was a lizard-like quadruped that was also amphibious, being able to traverse land and sea. Not to mention, he also increased his size estimate on the dinosaur, stating that it was 33% larger than his first estimate. Additionally, you could tell the Megalosaurus was a carnivore due to its teeth shape, and being the religious person he was, he claimed the Megalosaurus served the biblical role of ending the lives of old and ill animals, in order to, in his words, diminish the aggregate amount of animal suffering. This understanding of the Megalosaurus did not stay around for long, as more fossils of the dinosaurs were eventually uncovered. And even before the end of the 1800s, paleontologists had deduced that it was likely bipedal, and it was not as large as originally thought. And throughout the 1900s and early 2000s, even more specimens would be located, with one location yielding 103 bones alone. And thanks to these finds and the improvement of the general understanding of dinosaurs...
Look at what we've come. 1800s over here, this is, I mean, it's like, I guess, late 1900s, I guess. Early 2000s, late 1900s. But look at, in the span of basically... We'll say 150 years is what we'll say. It's not technically that, but look at what we used to think it was compared to now. Like it's just crazy to think about.
Knowledge about the Megalosaurus is of course much better now than it was when it was first described.
So
as of today, there is only one true Megalosaurus species, Megalosaurus bucklandi. Although other species have been proposed, none of them have been universally accepted due to the lack of fossil evidence. And the Megalosaurus bucklandi has also suffered from this lack of fossil evidence, because despite the considerable amount of specimens found, there is still a lot more of it missing, with the vertebrae and skull bones being extremely scarce,
moss on its
meaning that its physical appearance is not quite certain. Yet, in 2010, a paleontologist reconstructed the Megalosaurus using all known body parts, leading to a rough idea of what this magnificent creature looked like. The reconstruction depicts the Megalosaurus as a carnivorous theropod that was medium to large size, being between 6 meters, or 20 feet, and 9 meters or 30 feet in length, while weighing about 1 ton, making about the same weight as a European bison. Although this meant it wasn't as large as some of the most famous theropods like T-Rex or Spinosaurus, it still made it one of the largest Middle Jurassic theropods to exist. Additionally, studies on its bone formations indicated it was quite robust and would have been heavily muscled. Its skull in particular was exceptionally sturdy, as the limited finds of skull material show that it was unusually large for its body, and thus in an extremely powerful mouth that could deliver vicious bites.
Is that AI? Hang on.
Usually large for its body, and thus in an extremely...
I think that's AI. Look at the hands. It is okay. That is AI. You can see in the back here with the like weird little hole in the leg, unless they get, might have got punctured by a triceratops. Well, I guess it'd be stegosaurus in that time.
Extremely powerful mouth that could deliver vicious bites. Its mouth was also equipped with long dagger-like teeth that could easily tear through the flesh of its prey. The Megalosaurus also had its arms to use, which, although being relatively short, were stout and strong, and likely possessed 3 digits. It's been speculated the Megalosaurus may have used these robust arms to grip prey, or perhaps slash at them, inflicting rapid cuts. Meanwhile, its legs, while also being well built, were not as robust as the legs of some of its relatives, like the Torvosaurus, to which the Megalosaurus was closely related. Both of these two theropods belong to the family Megalosauridae, aptly named after the Megalosaurus. This family included 9 members, all of which were quite primitive when compared to later theropods.
All right, let's see. Okay, I can't. What's the
and were
top one say?
characterized by lower and
I
longer.
don't know. I can't read the top one. Well, I'll find it out in a minute. I have heard Magnosaur. I feel like I've heard of that. Not heard of this one. Why? What? How do you even come up with these names? Like, come on, man. Like, you just don't want people to pronounce these things. That's why there's nicknames for everything. Dury Venator? I don't know how. Afro Venator, Dubry Uliosaurus. I am butchering these. Megalosaurus, Torvosaurus. Again, it's pretty interesting. That one, I think, does that one have its own movie? Is that the that really bad one where they have like a narration over it? I think that's one. And then Wyan Venator.
Schools. They also had a wide distribution throughout.
Okay, that's the top one.
This family included 9 members, all of which were quite primitive when compared to later theropods, and were characterized by lower and longer skulls. They also had a wide distribution throughout the Earth. However, the Megalosaurus itself solely inhabited present-day England. Other proposed species of Megalosaurus have been found outside of England, yet none can be confidently referred to as Megalosaurus. 166 million years ago, England was drastically different
whoa, that looks weird.
Being lush and tropical. And the Megalosaurus lived in an area that appears to have been dominated by ferns and geckos. It was also situated close to the waters, and some Megalosaurus appeared to have lived on islands as well. Its habitat was extremely rich in life, which was also very diverse. Other dinosaurs that lived alongside the Megalosaurus included the sauropods Cardiodon and Cetiosaurus, as well as stegosaurs. It's thought that the Megalosaurus preyed both on the sauropods and these stegosaurs, yet despite its efficient weaponry, hunting wasn't always easy for the Megalosaurus, as fractured bones have been seen in Megalosaurus specimens that were likely inflicted by herbivores. Other theropods also coexisted with the Megalosaurus.
I mean, to be fair, herbivores in most, probably all time periods are just as deadly, if not deadlier, than predators, just because, like, you gotta be, like, you gotta be on your game. You gotta be on the top of your game no matter what. Like, my thing I always think of is the bison or buffalo. You know, how big they are and how, how many people kind of get hurt going up to them thinking, oh, it's just, it's a herbivore. It's not going to do anything to you. But herbivores, I think, have I think I saw a statistic where it's like double the amount of like injuries or deaths than like a predator. And you just, you don't think, but they're designed to keep themselves alive, to keep their babies alive. And so, like, you can have a top tier predator. Think tiger or a lion or something. Like, we'll go lion just because, you have like the elephants there. You have like, well, I mean, I don't really know if they hunt a lot of giraffes, but like zebras. I mean, zebras have like 1,000,000 to 1 to lions because, they just, breed so much. But, water buffalo and whatnot, where they can, just kill them with their horns and, just hit them with their feet, the back feet, and kick them and whatnot. So, like, you think a deadly predator, it's like, okay, their prey is just as deadly. So, again, there's one of the largest middle of the Jurassic period theropods. And you have, again, I mean, Stegosaurus is probably, it's a top 10 most known dinosaur for sure. And I mean, you think about what they have and what they can do, and they have a tiny brain, but you think of those spikes on the end of their tail and how many kills each one of them probably has. Like it's crazy. Like it's just crazy to think about. And you just, again, you can be a top tier predator and still get KO'd by any prey.
Typically, Iliosuchus, Cruxicaros, and Streptospondylus. The latter two were similar in size to the Megalosaurus, however, neither preyed on each other, and they probably all had their own separate niches. Furthermore, the Megalosaurus is more common and widely distributed, indicating to paleontologists that it was the top dog of its time. And dinosaurs were not the only ones thriving in England during this time, as multiple fish, pterosaurs, insects, and cynodonts were also present. It's possible that Megalosaurus may also have hunted these non-dinosaur animals, yet no concrete evidence of this has been discovered. Yet. Overall, yet no concrete evidence of this may also have hunted these non-dinosaur animals, yet no concrete evidence of this has been discovered.
Well, okay. I guess maybe juveniles more so would do this than adults, because obviously, juveniles, like, again, the pterosaur, like, I mean, like, compared to it, it's compared to a juvenile, but you think of an adult, like, an adult probably isn't going to go for a pterosaur. Maybe if it just wants a quick snack, but if it wants real food, obviously it's gonna go for a bigger meal. That's why it's going for sauropods, which are massive. Most of them are massive. I mean, you have some that are kind of small for sauropod, but I feel like the babies and the juveniles would definitely go after. Like, they'd be like, oh, look at that, like, let's go see if I can catch a little pterosaur before it flies away. I mean, how many of you as kids chased a rabbit? A rabbit doesn't fly, but chased a bird, and you're like trying to catch a bird before it flies away and whatnot. Like, how many of you did that as a kid? Like, I'm sure a lot of younger dinosaurs did that too. So, it's no confirm, as he's saying, but I feel like it's pretty confirmed. At least for younger of the species, or really any predator.
Yet. Overall, the Megalosaurus is truly an amazing and important dinosaur whose discovery is a monumental landmark in paleontology. And hopefully this animal starts to get the recognition it deserves and appear more in paleo media.
All right. So, again, that was just kind of a 6-minute video, 6:16. Yeah, I have heard the name. I did not know it basically was from the UK. And I'm trying to remember, because this would have been middle of Jurassic, so obviously, like, the seas were way different and the lands was way different. So he said that it was only found in England at the time, or I guess the bones were, and there's been other stuff found around the world, but that's not confirmed it to be a Megalosaurus. So I'm probably sure. I'd have to look at a prehistoric map, and again, they're not 100% confirmed, because we're going off of what we think happened, but probably was like an island or a chain of islands, and that's probably why. And again, he did mention that in the video. So, yeah, this is when you think of the Jurassic period, you really think of like Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus and whatnot for kind of major predators. And I mean, that's more so kind of because the media has done that, right? Like, the media has focused on those a lot. You have Walking with Dinosaurs did the whole spin-off on what was it, the Allosaurus or whatever. So excuse me. So you get those kind of major two basically focused on in media. So it's really cool to learn about other dinosaurs, and not as much is known about other stuff at the time, at certain times, and that's what's not as popular to kind of put in the media, because there's probably hundreds of Allosaurus skeletons, or maybe not hundreds, but there's probably a good chunk of Allosaurus or Ceratosaurus skeletons out there. So it's like, hey, like, we got a complete fossil here, versus just trying to basically guess exactly, because again, the most bones for one specimen was, what did he say, 110 or whatever. So they don't have a complete skeleton of this guy. So Oh my god, excuse me. I don't have any water with me because I just came down here quick and I'm rambling. I'm freaking rambling. But yeah, so like they don't have a full on specimen, which what, probably hundreds. I don't know exactly a number. I mean, it varies depending on the species of dinosaur too. So, but if this is, oh my god, my throat is just dying right now. But if this is kind of like a medium-sized dinosaur, it's probably a couple hundred bones. And if you only have about 110, 108, 15, that's not a full skeleton. So you don't really know exactly what you got until So, but again, just kind of a shorter video here. I will at least film this weekend. There's a one video which is about 23, 24 minutes, something like that, which I didn't want to do on a work night after work and just sit here for half an hour and then I'm blabbing away and it's suddenly a 50-minute video. So I will try to get that done this weekend, and then if it goes up later this week, if it's like a 30-40-minute video, sorry, again, when there's a 22-minute video and I want to stop and talk about stuff or ramble for a minute, I'm going to do that, which I am now. But I am gonna try to keep that one shorter. Hopefully I enjoy this stuff. I really love really prehistory. I love obviously human history too, which I will be doing some human history videos. I don't exactly know how I want to do that because I was going to try to go like country by country with history, but it's like those videos can be hours long and it can be if I just find like basic information for every country, it's probably still like a 30-40 minute video. So I don't know how I want to make that and talk about human history, or if I just want to do like certain events, like a certain war, or not certain war, but like a certain battle in a war, because obviously you can't do World War II in an hour. Like I mean, you can summarize it really fast, but there's 5 years of war there, and the amount of battles that took place in between those 4 or 5 years, it's hard. And that's just one. Like you have World War I, you have all the major wars that have happened before that. You have I'll eventually do a video on like the American Revolution and whatnot. You have a bunch of civil wars around the world, which I forget. I think some have lasted a couple years, probably closer to like a decade, but I'm sure there have been some like really long civil wars in human history. So there's a lot to do, and it's just I got to figure out exactly how I want to do it. But we're gonna mix that in with some of this, some of football, some of everything. I'm gonna try to get some skits done. I do have a mini skit idea, which I don't fully have written out yet, but I will try to, I guess, film, or at least, yeah, I guess I could try to finish writing it this week and try to film it this weekend. I could do that. So yeah, this week is gonna be busy for me, and then you'll see kind of videos scattered about. I personally hate uploading on a Tuesday, which funny enough I'm actually recording on a Tuesday, and then not having anything for like 2 weeks. I personally don't like that. I know YouTube hates that too because it doesn't push my channel out. So I'm gonna try to like do like 2 or 3 videos a week, but I just like gotta get ahead and record a bunch of stuff first. But I'm trying to figure all this out. And, I'm thinking at work how I want to do this and whatnot. I can't really, write notes down at work because I can't really sit on my phone to like type out everything into a docs or a notepad or something. So just bear with me for a little bit. I'm hoping by 2025, I will have a system where it's like, okay, if this video goes up Tuesday, this video goes up Friday, this video goes up Sunday, or Saturday, we have a stream on Sunday. And, that's like a system or whatever. So I will figure it out. I'm giving myself to the end of the year to kind of figure it out, everything. But I promise there's going to be a lot to come, a lot of different stuff, a lot of stuff I want to do. I was kind of, doing a bunch of football stuff earlier in this channel's career because that's just what made the channel popular. Now I'm doing what I want to do. I want to do, again, dinosaur stuff. We're going to do history stuff. We're going to do everything. We're going to, I don't really want to react to music videos, but we could even do like music video reactions. If something as big as like Not Like Us drops, if something else drops, like, okay, maybe I'll listen to that, you know. But for now, though, I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm sorry for rambling. I rambled at the beginning, I rambled in the end. Please show the support, likes, comments, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, which again for the next couple of months is going to be kind of periodic. I don't have a schedule yet, but we're going to figure it out. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this, if this again, Extinct Zoo is the channel. If you enjoyed it, I will definitely be doing more, so look out for more of these. These are obviously really easy to do because I can just do reaction videos. It just takes time to film them, and then if I want to edit some parts and whatnot. And yeah, so with that all being said, I'm going to get on out of here. Peace.